Hello and welcome to the RWBY podcast. We are talking about Volume 5, Chapter 10. I am the Blue Genie, Mediocrity 4. Dude, what the heck, will probably be here later, but, we were already running late, so, yeah. High Power's in charge of, dropping him in when he gets home.
It's me, High Powered, and I'm back, and I've got a new trusty long boy with me today. So let's see what this is. This is a Carbach Lemon and Ginger Roadler, or however that is. Let's get this. Is gonna be great for. There you go. Oh yeah, that's right. Some ASMR beer cracking open right there. Fuck, that's good.
It's just so crisp, just like yes. And
oh damn, that's good. I enjoyed. My opinion has softened dramatically on this episode, and I toss it off to the sock that's in the corner.
This corner? You talking about this corner right here, or
to you? You're in my bottom right-hand side.
Oh, so I'm way over there. Okay.
Same here.
But no. Speaking as the high priest of the Church of Salem, all I have to say is, since we won't be seeing you guys for the weekend, I'll have because Kirby's going to be on break. I'm going to have to wish you all a Merry Grimace. I had nothing.
That's royalty free, right? I don't have to worry about advertiser.
I think you're good.
Kicking in my door for doing that.
Oh.
I think you're good.
I was wondering what you were doing. I was like, what is?
We
what is
wish
that?
you a Merry Christmas.
No, I get enough Christmas music at work. Please,
Lemon,
no more.
ginger, golden. Yeah, this is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Robert?
And I am the supreme leader. I am Robert.
Oh,
Much
you just
better than
made me
mine.
sad. No.
Well, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about RWBY.
Christmas.
This episode, so I, coming out of this episode, was not happy.
Yeah, I messaged you about it. You were not a happy camper, my friend.
I was so mad. I was more mad at this episode than I have been on any episode since the finale of Volume 2, probably.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the whole issue you guys, everyone was having. When
I watched it the second time and then the third time to get the screen grabs, which are currently in the middle of the screen, I warmed up to it a lot. It is not a bad episode. It's a bad episode of, like, television or whatever, but it's not bad for RWBY. It's a decent episode for RWBY.
There's a lot of vertical slices of this episode that are very good.
Yeah.
So just to kind of go over what happened.
Yeah, let's get the 10,000-foot view.
Lest we forget, this episode opens with Crow and Oscar talking. Which is honestly, like, it's with everything else that happens in this episode, it's extremely forgettable. Basically starts out with stuff that we are pointing out stuff that we already know as the audience. It's like, man, these huntsmen are dying is kind of suspicious there. Ozpin is like, yeah, you're right, Crow, it is suspicious. Oh, sorry, guys.
Like 4 episodes ago.
Which I have a theory on. I have a theory on that, but we'll get to that when we get into theory stuff.
So, it then goes to, RWBY interrupts, and she's like, so what about the relic that the Fall Maiden can get to? It's like, oh, don't worry, I took care of that. Which, in all honesty, like, we shit on
We
Austin
already knew
for
that.
Yeah,
we already knew that Salem didn't have the relic.
Well, yeah, we knew they did so, but in all honesty, we shit on Ozpin, like, at any and every moment and opportunity we get. But I do appreciate the fact that he had the foresight to. Here's the finale. Just because if you have a box here, this is your box here, but you can't open the box. But you don't want anyone to get into the box, especially that person trying to get the box has a key for it. Just put the box somewhere where that person can't get into. Like, oh, okay. It makes it's like I give him a slight little prop there. It's like that's some good thinking right there.
That he was smart enough to not have to remove the lock from the key.
Yeah, or just move the damn lock, or just move the item to begin with.
Yeah.
Which also begs the question that
pretty much the smartest thing he's done so far, but
yeah. Which also begs the question: why didn't Ozpin just throw the fucking all the relics into the bottom of the in the deepest part of the ocean? But then again, so
Since apparently he had no intention of using them, even though they would make his job really easy, it seems like. But yeah.
Well, there's the whole like side debate of whether like, because humanity can't really reach the depths of the ocean too easily, but at the same time there are Seagrim, so it's like kind of giving it's better to fight on your own field than to like try and like hide something.
But then she'd have the Volts, but none of the maidens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But so and then we also get the idea that Ozpin and Crow are even more suspicious of Lionheart, even though that was something that was off scene, which kind of maybe should have been on scene.
Well, what do you mean?
Just with the because whenever Crow gets the call from Lionheart, Crow's like, "Oh, that was different from what he told me recently." And
I think he was talking about the conversation that he had like with Ranger and stuff like that.
Yeah, at the beginning of the volume.
True.
Yeah.
It's basically
because he's now saying, "Oh, hey, yeah, I think I can get some people." He's like, "You said no chance." So being a little smart.
Well, it's basically they already suspect Leo because he's not following Ozpin's directions that he left. And it's basically like, yeah, this is really suspicious. It's almost as if the whole plot line of Leo betraying them but trying to be secretive about it is pointless.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
A little bit.
But the one thing I did like though is I like how honestly when Raven went to
Leo, yeah.
Went to Leo, that like I was legitimately surprised with that. I was like, oh, okay. And the thing too also is like that doesn't blow her cover at all. Like she was just told all this information. She's gonna go confirm like what's actually going on. So
well, I thought she was there like telling Lionheart like what the plan was. Like she was the messenger for some reason, which seems really weird to me though that Watt would let Watt and Cinder would let these two people of questionable loyalty be in the same room alone together and stuff like that. It's like I don't know. Again, back to the whole thing of like leaving her alone in her camp. Now they're letting her go and talk to Lionheart. It's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, see, I can give you the whole camp thing, but but because they're not watching the camp, they can't exactly watch her when she just leaves to talk to Leo. That's not really in his control unless.
Well, yeah, but this scene. Yeah, but this scene, the way it was played, it almost seems like Raven went to tell, like, Watt told Raven, oh, and by the way, you're going to have to go and tell Lionheart what the plan is going to be and stuff like that, and, like, that's what she's doing.
No, I don't think that's how it was at all.
Yeah, I don't think so, because she called her
just Raven like, confirming for herself.
Yeah.
Well, because she's calling...
Raven's not dumb.
We don't know if she's gonna go straight back to the camp or like it's like leave like as she leaves she like drops a note to Crow or something like that.
Just throws a brick with a note tied to it through his window, and there's just a bird flying away, and it's like, God damn it, Raven! I won't get my deposit back because of this.
No, she poos on his windowsill, and then the poo is like dripping into letters and.
That's just dirty.
No. She poos on the window, but there's a note that's like in a plastic baggie. And then Crow's like, God damn it. As he's
this is not my fetish. You guys gotta stop this.
Yeah, I don't like the implications of that one.
Yeah, I don't.
So then basically this we have basically Gira and Sun are fighting the Fox Bros. It's mainly just Gira, though. They really aren't.
Are they?
Also Gira's trying to stop her daughter from getting arrested for domestic abuse because lesbian couples have a high instance of that.
I got no words.
And I will say this: Finnick, which brother died?
Fennec.
Yeah,
Fennec died in the most Saturday morning cartoon way possible. Not only did the walkway land on his ass, he also blew up too.
What exploded?
I don't know why it exploded.
So the reason why the reason why he exploded was he was charging up the wands to do a fire attack. Because I was assuming he was planning on stabbing Gira with the wand and then letting the fire go off, thus blowing Gira up in the process. Or like,
oh, yes, because one's fire and one's wind, so if you put those on, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just.
By the way, did they have multiple of the like? Were they dual wielding those knives?
They just had one each. He picked up his brothers who had gotten incapacitated.
He got knocked out.
No,
Corsac got
because Fennec was disarmed, and then he whipped out another one, and then when Corsac was thrown through the wall, he dropped 2.
Yeah.
I thought.
I don't know.
I think there's a third one in play.
Hey, it's not bad to have a spare. It's like having a secondary.
I know, but it just got me wondering. Yeah.
It's always easier to re-gun than it is to reload. It's easier to go for your pistol than it is to shove another magazine into your primary.
Right. But that leads to the question: is when they each had their dagger hands encased in ice, and they still had free hands. Why didn't they just take that free hand and grab?
Why didn't Blake just roundhouse kick
guess
them
what? I have
as soon
a
as she
spare.
froze them?
We've argued this to death already. We're moving on.
We know it was dumb.
Well, I'm just saying, you're bringing new
because they're idiots.
Man, this tall boy's really good. I just want to let you all know this.
At least in Dragon Ball Z, they make it into like an actual character thing that, like, no, I want to fight him at his strongest.
Why aren't you using your Kienzan?
Oh, I do forget to use that a lot.
Well, I'm not going to use it now.
So,
no, go on. I did not use my Kienzan. I was watching a bunch of Team 4-Star stuff earlier today, so I got Dragon Ball in the mind.
That's okay.
So Bella Mommy survives, and she also fucking beats.
Takes down. Speaking of Team 4-Star,
takes down a professional takes down a professional assassin.
No. She took down Lanny Pator faster than YouTube copyright bots could.
Oh.
You could just say Callie got him served.
Oh, god damn it. I have to drink to that one.
Yeah, she beat it.
Yeah. Callie's tray.
She pummeled him with a wooden tray.
That made a metal sound.
Yeah, metal sounds, yeah.
Yeah, and can somehow block bullets. By the way, yeah, that tray and that desk should not have been able to block those bullets.
Okay, so here's the thing.
We don't know what the penetrated power of dust projectiles are.
Not only
I
that,
can tell
but
you right now.
My head canon is that wood is more conductive to aura.
Okay, I guess.
Since it used to actually be a living thing.
I like that idea.
By the way, what happened to the guy that was shooting at Callie off screen? Like, she picks it, like, first of all, she's just standing there out in the open after running out of bullets. And then she picks up the tray, the guy shoots at her once, and then he just leaves her alone while she goes and bashes it at Yuma's head.
She spec'd into that one trait in Fallout 4 where you max out luck, and then the bullets ricochet off and just kill a random person instantly.
I think once that White Fang Mook saw like Yuma just get a train rammed on him, it's like, you know what? Setting down the gun. I'm okay.
Where did he have to go though?
Here's the best part too: is my favorite brown guardswoman survived.
Yeah.
Yay!
Another waifu survives another day.
Yeah. And Ilya.
And then you got
Then you got
the
Ilya's
fight
face
scene
turn.
with Blake and Ilya.
Out of nowhere face turn.
Okay. Let's lead up to that first.
We'll talk.
Rooster Teeth. You know exactly what you were doing with this episode.
Hey, I could do the same thing you're doing too. Oh, wait, hold a second. I need to actually.
Except you have a real gun.
Yeah. Okay. Rooster Teeth. We know exactly what the fuck you're doing with this episode here.
I've got a.
The innuendos are so insane. Like, I wasn't even trying. Okay, so for those of us,
if you'll have me.
So for those of us on the Discord server, I grab these screen grabs like the night after the episode comes out, or the day after, leading up to the podcast, just so that we have like a visual accompaniment aside from our faces. And I was going through the episode and grabbing these screen grabs, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't know what came over me. I started posting them to the Discord, and like doing like this almost abridged freaking thing. Yeah, and it's just
Lots
it
of
was
innuendo.
so easy. It was so easy in this episode. Just all the there was so much sexual tension in this episode. It was like palpable.
Yeah. Like,
So much ship
like
teasing.
literally could have ended the fight by tongue punching Ilya in the mouth.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deny. I actually thought what they were gonna do was like when Blake had her like arms pinned down. I was just like, I'm scared.
Ilya's like, watch this. It just pushes her thigh. Ilya just pushes her thigh right up into her fucking oh god, I'm gonna stop.
Cat scratch fever.
Yeah, some cat scratch fever there, and Blake's like, wait, what? And then just fucking decks Blake. It's like, I didn't want to do that.
Who would have thought that all Ilya needed was just a little ride from Blake to turn good? I mean, come on! Like these jokes write
Just
themselves.
some tender loving. Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yes.
Not wrong.
Yeah. The ship teasing was strong with this one.
Like the fact that Ilya starts like crying when Blake climbs on top of her, and
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
I've read one too many hentais like this. I've got one too many doigans like this. I mean, dojins.
Wiggins.
That's what a person that I don't like to use the word friend, but I'll call him a friend calls him.
Acquaintance.
But they were not. Yeah, they were not being particularly subtle, and I like how fast like public opinion shifts because it seems to shift because of this episode. Like,
yeah,
oh no, like I saw a bunch of people all like, oh well, yeah, this was totally being set up the entire volume. It's all like, tell that to the 90% of this fandom that completely hated Ilya 2 episodes ago when she came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was gonna talk about this later, but since you brought it up, it's like because I was just like I was looking at these comments on the Rooster Teeth website and on the Discord. It's just like I was just seeing a lot of hypocrisy about this entire thing. It's like, okay, like I get that they were mad about Ilya being an LGBT character antagonist, and then they were going this whole like, what was like this whole debacle, this whole argument and Tumblr shit. But the mere fact is like, guess what? You had that initial thing, and you're causing a big blowout for no apparent reason. And guess what? She's not an antagonist anymore. You know, they had already did this, so now everyone's just bitching that she face turned. It's like, first you complain that there's not enough action, and you complain about Ilya, and you're just constant bitching and toxic, texting.
Well, actually, I don't know. I'm feeling like this episode alone has a bunch of people like trying to just willfully forgetting the last 5 episodes, acting like they never happened. They're like, oh no, yeah, this is awesome, this is great, yay!
Yeah, it's
action
great
and lesbian shipping.
It's great compared to the previous episodes, but the mere fact is people were being super hypocritical, and it was kind of pissing me off. It's like, what more? Like, you guys asked for this kind of stuff. What do you want?
I don't know. Yeah,
you made your bed, and now you must lie in it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are problems with this episode. But as media said earlier, like that is just a RWBY thing. And we've already known these kind of issues have been around for a while.
Yeah. So at the end of the sequence, you get Finnick's death. Corsic is captured. Ilya does a face turn. Public opinion on Menagerie does a complete 180. So now they got all the public support, and so now Blake's got her army and
a boat,
which she now needs to train in 2 weeks. And
let's get down to business to defeat.
Yeah, this isn't gonna feel. Yeah, it's like they're going to all suddenly be able to really hold their own against the White Fang, who've been like training for an entire lifetime, and people are gonna be all like, "Okay, what the fuck was going down with Jean then?"
Hey, it's like the Russians, okay? They all might be poorly trained and poorly equipped, but boy, there sure are a fucking lot of them.
Maybe.
How many MG34 barrels have we burnt through, Hans? All of them. Give me another German name.
Heigl.
Another German name.
Heigl.
They all burns out, Michael. It's like, gets the oh damn it. Okay, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I was playing.
We were talking about Russians at the beginning of this thing.
Well, yeah, because the Russians are attacking the Germans, and they ran out of bullets and barrels in the MG-34 that was holding them back, and now they're just going to get ran over.
Yeah, so yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll have the numbers. Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll have the numbers advantage, but it's just like. But it's always one of those things where it's going to be just like, okay, just admit it now. You guys fucked up with Jean. Or with Jean's growth as a fighter, at least.
John's growth has stopped this episode. John might as well not.
We haven't even seen him this volume. Yeah.
John barely exists as a character. Like, the most he talked was in the episodes 1 and 2, and then
and then Weiss and Yang.
He was in episode 7 for a little bit.
Yeah, and then talking with Weiss and Yang, and that's pretty much it. Which is kind of frustrating. John, because John is the main character of this show.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone.
He's like a major character, yes, but
he's not the main character. No, right now it actually looks like it's Blake. So remember at the beginning, like I remember leading up to the beginning of this volume, people were talking about how Miles and Carrie were saying, we're gonna pay some attention to some character. Like, we're going to try and even things out, pay attention to characters that the audience felt were kind of put on the back burner last volume. And who are the two members of Team RWBY that the audience seems to feel took the back burner the most? Yang and RWBY, yeah. And yet, Blake is getting, like, all of this attention, she's having entire episodes about her.
The only one that actually has stuff going on plot-wise.
Yeah, she's the only one that has things going on. She's clearly going to come in and save the day in a couple episodes. So it's like...
Blake is the Deus Ex Machina for the end of this volume.
Yeah, she's going to be like this big Deus Ex Machina, and it's like... Yeah, and it's like, you guys fucking lied to us.
The problem is to get to
unless like the next 3 episodes are all about Yang and RWBY and stuff like that, they fucking lied. But
I hate what this volume has done, or what this volume has not done with RWBY.
Yeah.
The beginning of this volume had so much potential for RWBY actually coming into her own, driving the plot. Doing stuff, and no, I'm not going to just sit around here and talk. I'm going to actually do something, and then they
fucked it up.
They just had her sitting there waiting for the plot.
Yeah.
Asking questions no one cares about.
Standing and talking. And that's what they've been doing. You come back 5 minutes, that's what they're going to be. That's what they're going to say they've been doing.
Thank you, Tucker.
What are they doing? They're still just standing there, and they're still just talking. Yeah,
luckily, there's not nowhere near as much of that in this episode as
this there has honestly
been
makes
last couple ones.
At this point, this makes me hope that Crow doesn't survive this battle, because it would actually force RWBY to actually go out and go do shit.
To step up.
Yeah,
I'm kind of with you on
that. What do you think about having Crow follow them in Volume 4?
Yeah, and like I like Crow, but
why they wrote him out by having him be poisoned.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like, to all the people who say that Volume 4 was, Volume 4 was way better.
The wrong people.
I do not see this volume surpassing Volume 4. No, I just don't see it happen, especially with the way this episode ended. It really makes me feel like we're not even going to get the Battle of Haven this volume.
Yeah, because
just imagine Volume 7 opening up. No, Volume 6 opening up with the Battle of Haven.
That'd be weird.
Oh,
yeah, it'd be a little weird.
It'd be like their way of like, I don't know, thinking they're making up for the garbage with this volume and stuff like that. Like, okay, we just had a volume, nothing, but now we're gonna have a volume of action, and it's going to be weird and pointless. And it's gonna be just as weird and pointless, but people are still gonna love it because they like action. Who knows?
So let's specifically get to talking about the scene. So we don't really need to talk about the Crow and Ozpin's.
I like the implication that there is a sentimental value to Ozpin and his cane that has nothing to do with the actual, like, bigger scope. Like, I'm glad Ozpin's cane's not the relic. I'm glad that it is precious only
to him. It does ground him just a little bit too, also.
Especially since he probably made it. That's probably like just his weapon that he designed and stuff. And I like the implication that there's more tricks, which means that if Oscar was to ever get in a fight, then or when they eventually do get in a fight with someone, there might be some like cool little things that they do with the fight. I like that.
Just as long as it doesn't become Velvet's box.
Is this strike 2 or strike 3 on Ruby and the Silver Eyes?
Yeah, I was super mad about that. I actually had a call.
I feel like this would have been a good time for it to ask like this entire volume.
Especially
they could have
the way
brought
she
it
opens up that
any
question,
time.
like, if you don't mind me asking,
what are Silver Eyes? Yeah.
Yeah. How am I gonna do this?
Or even the questions asking about fucking Cinder and the Fall Maiden was a good opener too. Also, it's like so how.
Or even if it had just been, I have a question. No, my cane is not. Okay, well that's not what I was going to ask. Like, because like I do kind of like that they let us know that the relic is just something sentimental and that it's not a relic because people have been wondering about that one stuff like that. But the fact that Ruby, I feel like that would have been a good time for, like, they could have just left it at that. No, my cane is not the relic. Oh, no, I was going to ask about that. What are Silver Eyes? So, I think they've had, I think we could probably go through this volume and find a lot of missed opportunities.
Ozpin's looks at the camera. No, I was talking to the audience, not you, Ruby. Stop being so rude.
That's what it was. And if they were going to do that, okay. So, here's the thing about, speaking directly to your audience, and I'm speaking directly to the audience as I'm doing this, and we are 26 minutes in, so still early on enough in the podcast to do this right. Breaking the fourth wall is the opposite of immersion. Immersion is what makes people care.
Yeah.
When you throw the audience a bone like this late in a volume, it breaks immersion, which it breaks like the, what's it called? Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
a lot of times.
Sorry.
It breaks the illusion. This is why Hitchcock had all his famous cameos and stuff. He always had them at the beginning of the movie. Every time he threw a wink or a nod to the audience, it was always at the beginning before they even had time to get invested. And
breaking the fourth wall works with characters
I don't expect Carrie and Miles to realize this. They're not film school students, and most film school students don't even realize how tricky it is to break the fourth wall and keep people invested. That's why breaking the fourth wall is reserved for comedies, where it's always pointing and always winking and always nodding. That's just the world that they build into it. That's just the world it exists in.
They're meant to be disbelieved.
Aladdin is actually a good example of this, because Aladdin has all their pop culture references, but it's done in such a way where it's like it never feels like you're actually in the Middle East. It feels like you're in Vegas presents the Middle East, and it's all and it has that vibe throughout the entire thing. So Aladdin would be a good example. Shrek would be another example of it kind of done right. Probably even more so, because it's way more ingrained. Like, it's actually part of the plot. Is that wanted fairy tale creatures? There's never that. Wall there.
It's intentionally subverting all these tropes, so
there's never that wall to break, so it's not ever breaking the fourth wall, because the fourth wall does not exist in Shrek. But basically looking directly at the audience and saying no, the cane is not a relic. Did not work for me.
Fair enough.
It did not work for me.
Okay. So, but as far as Silver, times to explain Silver Eyes, they've had any time in the last 5 episodes they could have probably thrown out a scene or moved a scene, had a training scene where Ruby asks about that and tries to figure that out. So
they could have had another training scene with that.
Yeah, exactly. They could have thrown
part.
They could have done that at any point in the last 5 or 6 episodes. So, I mean, it's no more of a missed opportunity than any of those. So.
If this trend keeps up, it's just going to end up like Jean's semblance. Until it pops up, I don't.
Yeah, everyone's going to stop caring. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I kind of want if they did a training, it would be interesting in a training scene, because it'd be a good way to show off the actual effects of the Silver Eyes. Like Ruby just goes berserk whenever the Silver Eye powers are activated, because she doesn't have any control over them, and then Jean and everyone else is trying to not die. They're like, fuck. Shit, as they're taking cover and and it's like Ruby's just wrecking everything.
I mean, we talked about that last week. That's kind of what. Well, I'm hoping that she tries to use the Silver Eyes and fails, but I do think. But like, if she uses them and ends up like causing a bunch of collateral damage and stuff like that, hurting people that she doesn't want to hurt, then that could work too. But
yeah. I mean, I'd be fine with that.
There needs to be some sort of consequence to her use of powers.
Well, we know because
there needs to be something
for a while.
Oh yeah, or there just needs to be something about them that either they're not easy to use, like the Avatar state and the Last Airbender, or there's some sort of cost to using them. So yeah, but yeah.
So then we get Raven talking to Lionheart. Man, it sure is good to see Lionheart again. I probably said that already.
Hasn't been in the show since episode 2 of this volume when he got choked out by. Oh my god, this entire volume really.
Yeah.
I just remember that scene.
More. Choke me more, Daddy.
I'm still.
Oh god, and then this episode actually starts with
Stop.
With the bat choking out the guard.
What was that, Daddy? Daddy?
I'm about to kick you out of this call. Don't threaten me. I'll do it.
Sorry. I had to say it at least once.
Oh, there you go. I muted him, but I don't know if I muted him for myself or everyone else.
I don't know.
No. We can still hear him.
God damn it.
You.
I quit. I'm so done.
Alright, I'll stop.
Anyway, I felt like this was a little point, like, okay, I like the parallel between Lionheart and Raven. How they're both just doing what they feel they need to in order to survive.
And Raven's like, I like it because I'm smart.
Or whatever you
say.
So here's...
And I like how Lionheart kind of calls her out on that one too. He's just like, yeah, okay, you're scared. We're both scared. Like,
in this,
he's just honest about it.
Raven will do something about it. Like
technically, Lionheart is doing something about it too, as in like working with Salem. That's doing something about it.
Well, no, they're both working with Salem. Sorry, I should have been more clear with that. Like, I meant like Raven's not really working with Salem. She's more around the lines of trying to. She'll run from Salem, but she'll like throw like sticks in her path, basically.
She's playing 5D Mahjong while Cinder's playing checkers.
Yeah, pretty much.
So this scene really opens up something it's been kicking around my head, all volume, really since found out about the relics last volume, and that there's a bit of a Toby problem with Salem. They're going to beat her eventually.
Yeah.
How does not matter at this point because that's not the conflict right now. The conflict is Battle of Haven. You need to deal with that first. The problem will always in something I think it's too late for this show to avoid unless Salem turns out to not be as old as we think she is. As to why this generation, why these characters, why haven't they been able to beat Salem before? When they eventually beat Salem, the question will be, why didn't they do that thousands of years ago?
How many dead Team Starks is Ozpin standing on right now?
There's a bit of a Toby problem with that, where it's almost too late to give a satisfying answer, and the only way to kind of avoid that issue for the end game of the series is to have Salem actually be or do what I did and rip off Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Where like Salem actually does win, but then it's like just too much for her, and her hubris is what destroys her, because hubris is the ultimate killer.
Ambitions.
Shut up.
I broke media.
We're all just gonna get broken here, but yeah, I do agree that this whole. I mean, that's what I've been asking, like, what I was asking earlier, Ozpin had the relics in his possession for 70-odd years. He had the maidens at his beck and call for a significant amount of time. Why didn't he destroy Salem then? And like, we're probably gonna be wondering that. Yeah, how has Salem lasted for over 1,000 years? How has Ozpin, not destroyed her by now?
Although
right now the answer seems to be because he's inept.
Yeah,
well, the fact that he failed in the end. When he first did it and had all the relics, he still failed to kill Salem. Like he may have won the war. Or whatever,
there's another way they can kind of write around this in that, like the semblances of Team RWBY and lesser extent Juniper, I guess. Just the fact that there's a group of people that are all friends with those specific powers, they can kind of do something with that. Like, oh, it's this like combination of powers that can actually like maneuver around and defeat Salem. Like that's like for season. That's a problem Volume 10 is gonna have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's just flip a coin. Is that the Atlas arc, or is that the Vacuo arc?
I want Vacuo to be next. I want to see Vacuo.
I want to go to freaking what is Vacuo going to be based off of? The Middle East or
lots of deserts, lots of
Baby and nuts.
No, I want it to be Mad Max though. Like I just want to see guys driving around in like crazy souped up cars. And they're like, like we gotta paint it red so it goes faster.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they make it sound like, a place where you survive just by being tougher than everyone else.
Yeah, I'm seeing like a lot of deserts and like Australian themes, like outback stuff. Like I know we say Menagerie is like Remnant's version of Australia, but in fact, and like as far as we can actually see, Menagerie is more like a tropical island kind of thing.
I'll take like the wild.
Australia has jungles in it.
Yeah, I'll take the Wild West. In all honesty, I want it to be a Wild West setting.
Yeah, that works.
Which would also just be Mad Max.
Yeah, it's also Mad Max.
Yeah. Because wasn't that the whole conceit of Mad Max, is that it was like a freaking four-wheeled western?
Kinda, yeah.
Like instead of horses, they have like freaking, I don't know what the infiltrator or whatever it is. I was never that big into Mad Max.
Yeah. Just call them hot rods, media. Just call them hot rods.
There we go. But yeah, but we do. I don't know. I do like that I don't know. Yeah, I do feel like this conversation was a little aimless, but I do kind of like the comparison between the two characters and stuff like that. So, yeah. The idea that whether she denies it or not, they're both just scared.
Yeah. Although grats to RT for kind of subverting our expectations on that, because they're like, Raven's gonna go to Crow and tell him, and it's just like, that's Leon.
I still wonder though why. What?
Sometimes it's better for Rooster Teeth to just keep things exactly what people are expecting. Yeah. Because when they go off the beaten track, they tend to run into problems.
Sometimes. But so, do we talk about
after that? Was the
I really hope my audio's. I seem to be having audio problems on OBS's end. I'm just not finding the right noise level. But yeah, it seems to be fine. It's just kind of all over the place.
Now it's the whole fight scene. So basically, here's a few things I like about this fight scene. One, Blake is reloading. I always like whenever people reload, and then how they pause the screen long enough. It's like, okay, we've got fire bullets being represented by M885 green tip, and then we've got a 55 grain hollow point 223 representing ice bullets. Let's use the fire bullets, and then sets the house on fire, and then they'll probably write that off as a loss at the end of the year for the taxes. And so I appreciate
insurance
that.
Investigator comes in next episode, is like, you purposely we can't give you your insurance.
Don't worry, we'll just tax the fuck out of our citizens. And they're like, our NAP's violated, we're taking over. I appreciate that. I also I like how Ilya's weapon can shock people through other people's weapons. That's cool. I like that. I'll say this right now.
I like that too. That it leads to some cool visuals.
Yeah, this is clever.
Yeah.
This was a darn good fight scene. This is probably the best.
It was pretty
fight
good.
This is it's obviously.
So I feel like there's gonna be some nitpickers.
Oh, there
because a lot of the shots are off model. Like, but those people do. They obviously hand did a lot of this fight scene,
They
and
did
it
a lot
shows.
of mocapping for it too.
I hope not. I don't think so. And here's the thing: it actually benefits from not being mocapped. It's much more lively. It's much more vibrant. It's way more fluid to just do it by hand. I mean, and handmade animation is kind of making a resurgence. Just look at the absurd popularity of like Out of the Inkwell and Cuphead. Like, dude, Max Fleischer is bigger now than he ever was when he was actually alive. But yeah, there's a bit of that like rubber hose quality with a lot of the shots.
Yeah,
I say that it's the shot of Ilya with Ilya's like butt.
She ain't got much of a butt to talk about though.
Yeah, she really does have a flat ass. Holy crap!
I think they
Sorry,
had that.
rude, but like,
I think they actually wrote that into like the character concept art.
That's right. Yeah.
In the words of the grandpa from the Boondocks, I want a white woman with small titties and a flat ass that'll listen to my problems. No, I want a white woman with small titties and a flat ass that'll listen to my problems. Whenever he's doing the online dating.
And also just the fact that both Blake and Ilya have weapons that could like wrap around parts of their body adds to the
ooh baby
BDSM.
You know, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that media. That brings a.
Oh, I've been thinking about that since Volume 4 when like Ilya whipped out her weapon while wearing that like freaking leather outfit. I was just like, there's gonna be some fanfics about this one.
I'm gonna have to check that later.
Oh no, Omnipotent's art of where Blake's tied up with her own weapon, and then the other part of her weapon, like she's getting ready to like spank her, and it's like Kaltanning the Turncoat, just immediately floated into my mind right now. In his watercolor art style. His big asses that he does.
Oh god, and just
man, I should have bought me another tall boy or two because I'm about to burn through this one.
There's some quality freaking
screen
grabs from this fight. Pretty much any time that they hold still for a second, it's a really cool shot, and I feel like this volume is very similar to Dragon Ball Super. Where there's not as much action. There's a lot more like just sitting around talking, and then every once in a while it gets actually legitimately good. And this was one of them. I really like the way they use the dust in this with the elemental stuff.
Freezing Ilya's whip, I thought that was pretty cool.
That was clever. I like that.
I did not realize that was ice. I thought that was actually just like Blake using almost like regular bullets, because a whip like that would not actually be able to block anything when it's in its whip form. Like, it would swat some stuff out of the way, but I feel like that would be more on the electricity's part. But I feel like it was just like it broke, like just from blocking too much. Like, that's what I thought at first, and then it showed it.
It's just all frozen. And it's like, and Ilya's like, shit.
I like that, and it slowly thaws out. It slowly thaws out and gets and straightens up as Ilya gets hotter.
You could say it gets erect
as the room gets hotter. Well, hotter under the collar. I told they know. They know exactly what they were doing.
Oh god. Oh man.
Oh god, and then you got Blake on top of Ilya.
Oh yeah, that too. Also,
And like tears started forming in her eyes. Like,
Yeah.
yes, this is what I always wanted. This would have just happened like 5 years ago. And then, Gira walks in on like, oh, is this a bad time?
Yeah, I could go if you need me to.
That's what like
You
made
thought
me mad.
son was your biggest problem.
Don't go to your mom's special box. There's some dangerous items in there.
This was one of the things that made me mad is that Blake is quite literally on top of the situation, and Gira walks in and is like,
and
Blake!
Gira panics.
Yeah, and Gira panics. Like,
Yeah. So like
Blake stands up and Ilya's like,
this.
I didn't say you can move.
I feel it was a Blake with a question mark and an exclamation point, not just an exclamation point. If this was in manga terms.
Yeah, I get like Blake, like Nani.
Nani? Mayura Cinderu. Nani?
Yeah, and because he's like in shock or whatever, Finnick manages to stab him in the back, and
oh yeah, I will say this.
Then it gets into some like Dragon Ball Z level corner cutting with actual Dragon Ball repeated animation.
Oh yeah,
with Corsac and Gira,
by the way,
I do not.
Who punches another man's fist? That's not how you block properly. That just hurts.
That is is something that only works in Dragon Ball Z, where they're actually like just seeing who could punch harder.
I'll be honest,
and protecting their fist with like their ki, or in this case, aura. But what I don't buy is that Corsac is able to match those blows.
Yeah, like we see
like, Gira's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Gira's a big guy.
I mean, Corsac is the bigger of the two, and like Corsac is noticeably bigger than Fennec, but yeah, I don't buy it either that he was like. They've given us no indication that he's like particularly strong or anything like that, but.
So here's the thing, though. Also,
although it does kind of a little bit fix the problem. Like, why are they there? Like, oh, they're there because they actually know how to fight and can fight well.
Yeah, I guess. So.
And also, Gira's pretty.
Because apparently Yuma can't.
Gira's a pretty good fighter too. Also, I will say this: Gira tanks that stab like a fucking champ. So that stab hits him like in the shoulder blade right here.
Yeah.
And so you know what's on the opposite side
Is
of your
his
body?
aura down when that happened?
His aura was down. Your heart is right there. This is your heart here. Your heart's there. So at the minimum, he's got a fractured shoulder blade. At the worst, a punctured heart, a severed vein and or artery that goes to the heart, easily a punctured lung. Not saying you can't fight on for a period of time with, a punctured lung or anything like that. But I'm like, man, I'm sitting there, I see that stab, I was like, he survives that thing like a fucking champ. Like, he's like, nah, man, it's whatever. Like, he tanks that hit like a boss.
Yeah, it's not deep, it's not big, it's not long. The blade's not long enough to.
Yeah, it wasn't deep
from the back.
And he's a big guy. Yeah, it's a small knife, and he's a big guy. But
size are not meant for murder.
But he keeps going with that in his shoulder. But he keeps going with the stab wound. So yeah.
That's the oh man, I remember I was talking to a special forces guy and I asked him, I was like, why do you carry such a big knife? It's like, well, all these knives are too small to get to the vital organs. It's like, okay, well, you make a fair point.
Yep.
But I mean, like, I honestly like the fight scene. I liked whatever freaking like the fact that Sun started fighting.
Where was
again,
Sun when all this was going down?
They were trying.
Yeah, it's like they're fighting, and then he just
that's another thing that made me mad. Yeah. Is that like where was Sun when Gira like burst into the room and got stabbed in the back? Like again, like it would have been it would have made so much more sense if Sun and Blake both left, and Gira's like, no, I got this. These guys are nothing.
I got these.
And Sun went to fight Yuma, and then they all meet here. Like they all meet up in this area.
Yeah.
At around the same time. That way you can still get Sun swooping in.
And then it makes sense that it's like, okay, Callie was just fighting some mooks and she managed.
Well, no, like have Sun and Callie work together to fight Yuma. And even if
I like to see Sun and Callie working together, if you know what I mean.
Even if you had to, even if you had to,
I make you a sibling.
Even if you had to still do that part off screen, which is the thing that made me the most mad about Yuma, is that it's basically off screen. Like Sun can still burst in right exactly when he does. The scenes don't change at all. Plot wise, character wise, nothing changes, but the internal logic is fixed a bit. His Sun then bursts in at the same exact moment. Callie's like behind him dragging Yuma. You know, she's falling behind because she's having to drag Yuma's sack.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the scene plays exactly the way it did. Like nothing actually changes.
Yeah.
It fixes some of the problems with the pacing and stuff in this fight.
Although I also have to wonder I don't know. I did like the fight that we got a little bit of the fight between Sun and Ilya.
Payback.
Yeah, it was good.
And hopefully people are satisfied with the gunchucks. But I do
really well done.
I don't know. A part of me is wondering, like, how strong is Sun? That I'm guessing there was some structural damage, but like he cracks the wall with Ilya's back, and then I also wonder, since when does
Sun was a contender for the Vital Festival tournament.
This makes me want to know more about Gira and stuff like that. That he was willing to put his life on the line to protect to protect Elio the way he did and stuff like that. Like, it was nice of him, and I guess it's kind of what good guys do, but it's like, there are two other guys in this room trying to kill you. I'm pretty sure neither of them are unconscious, and you have time to catch this thing for a girl that, like, how well did he know her? Like,
well, I'm going to put it this way.
History. And I also wonder about that later on. I don't know. This makes me want to know more about Gira.
It's probably that sort of trait why he was picked to be the original, like, one of the leaders of the White Fang, probably. Perhaps, that, like, self-sacrifice and servant leadership sort of attitude that he has. Which I guess. I like Gira's character.
Maybe I'm just a cold-hearted bastard, but yeah, that was just something I was wondering about, like, why?
I also really like Ilya too, because she's
I mean, his opponents were kind of like kind of incapacitated, and it was stupid of him to really take his eyes off them. But it's the same thing, because he probably saw his Blake crying, saying, "No, please, not stop, enough."
Maybe he decided to help his daughter's friend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he should have taken his eyes off, but that didn't matter in the end. He just yoink.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess this just makes me wonder, like, I don't know. How long has Blake known Ilya? How long has Ilya, like, been around? Was she around when Gira was leader of the White Fang and stuff like that? Which doesn't seem like it, actually.
I don't think it...
Now that I think about it, with, like, the time she spent in Atlas, yeah, so it doesn't seem like he would know her, so... I don't know. Again, maybe I'm just a cold-hearted bastard.
Well, no, here's the thing that's been bothering me about Ilya. I might have addressed it when we talked about the Blake character short. Is that, how did Blake not instantly recognize her back in Volume 4? She didn't change her hair, she didn't change her outfit, she didn't change her weapon. All she did was put on a mask.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, how was
Masks don't change
immediately
that much.
not like Ilya?
Not only that, but she didn't change her semblance.
Just falls off randomly.
Yeah. Actually, no, it doesn't. I'll get to that.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that her skin was...
does she toss her mask because she's turning out the lights?
Yeah. She's going to turn off the lights, and so she takes off her mask so that she can...
Yeah, people were complaining about...
go black and not go back.
What happened to the night vision? I'm just like, oh, here we go.
Here's a fun fact about night vision.
I'm wondering about that, so please explain.
Here's a fun fact about night vision. So, hold a second, let me open this door real quick.
Yeah.
So, just because you have night vision doesn't mean you can just see everything. So, if that person is camouflaged and blended into the surroundings with night vision, you'll still have a very difficult time picking them out in the dark with night vision.
Okay.
And fun fact, United States military actually tested a camouflage pattern that looks stupid back whenever Generation 1 Soviet night vision was around, but in reality, at the time that they were testing that night vision, they were already on Generation 2. That actually did kind of work, but whenever they figured out, like, actually what sort of level of night vision that the Soviets had, they were like, oh, this stuff doesn't work anymore. I forget what it's called. It looks kind of cool. But in real life, with night vision, just because, like, you could see in the dark, if whatever you're seeing is like blending in and obscured with its surroundings, then it's still going to be hard to see.
Yeah, and not only that, but this isn't technological night vision. This isn't night vision the way goggles are. This is biological night vision, which works way differently and has to do with rods in the eyes. That capture in more light on a different spectrum. So they almost like see in a different spectrum. They don't see in like normal light. They don't see a normal light spectrum like we do.
Okay. I guess I just thought
that's
like
something I should have prefaced with two of my night vision comparisons.
Yeah.
Well, you know about.
I guess I just wondered, like, shouldn't a Blake have just seen like, I don't know. I guess I just thought like, shouldn't Blake have just seen like a black Ilya against a brown black background and stuff like that? Because they said she has near perfect. That many faunas have near perfect vision and some, but okay, I guess it's not a big thing. I don't know.
Well, in Darkness 2, the other thing is your depth perception kind of goes out the window too also, so that's the other thing too. So there's that too. But I mean, you know, like, I like the concept that there's doing that. I also like how Blake's like, whatever, I'm just gonna set the goddamn house on fire. And then I have to bring it up again, though. Frickin' Finnick dies in the most cartoon way possible. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
I chuckle.
Sun goes to hit Ilya. Ilya ducks out of the way. Sun ends up breaking the pillar. The overhang goes to fall on Ilya. Gira catches it. Then Sun has his little light clones help prop it up.
Yeah.
Finnick goes to lunge, jump.
Yeah.
On
Ilya crawls up from under.
Blake pulls the rug out from under Finnick, and by rug I mean Gira. He just falls, it crashes, and he's dead.
Yeah.
So who's actually responsible for that kill? Does Sun get the kill?
Blake gets the kill.
Does Blake get the kill and Sun gets the assist?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about.
And Gira was just the bait.
Yeah. And then Korsak's all like, you ruined everything. It's all like, no, you kind of did by coming here.
Yeah, and not only that, but that line delivery, man.
At least you could have saved face and
who's the voice actor?
warned Adam.
I'm looking up the voice actor's name.
I like Korsak's voice actor.
He voiced Jason, or he played Jason Voorhees. And I like how Fennec is just running around. Yeah! It's like, okay, dude.
Autistic screeching that dies in a crash and explosion.
Literal autistic screeching.
Oh wait, no, I have to use a more subtly term for that. Acoustic screeching.
Derek Mears is mostly known for playing Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th reboot. He hasn't done really anything else outside of that. And
this isn't his most dramatic, or
Korsak, rather. So, yeah, dude, you're way better if you're just talking monotone, because you sound like a discount Gary Oldman going, everyone!
Yeah, so that was kind of weird, and it's like, you really have no one to blame but yourselves for this one, dude. And Adam, because he made his grudge your problem, and
which Adam's
I guess
not the
also
problem.
kind
Adam's
of
just
Ilya for
crazy. So Adam is not running off of logic at all. So you can't use logic to either. You can't use logic to explain his actions, and you can't use logic to actually critique it, because he's not running on logic.
Yeah,
it would have been better what High Power said. Just run, dude. Send a message.
Yeah, honestly, I actually kind of would have preferred that he ran off, because
so Adam knows
I really do hope that I actually do hope this. I really do hope that Ilya comes and and uses Blake as a Trojan horse. That would actually be very clever.
I would like that too. Yeah,
I don't think Ilya has that much foresight to be able to do that.
Yeah, True. I don't. Yeah, they're probably not going to, and I do like I don't know. So Ilya's face turn. So we have gotten we've gotten hints that we've gotten little bits and hints that she's conflicted. Her fingers twitched that one time. She clearly still cared about Blake and blah blah blah.
Oh, she cares. She cares about Blake. She really does.
Don't mind me. I'm just popping my knuckles.
But so she, but like, yeah, none of that felt like the proper setup for her to change. And in this fight, like, Blake doesn't seem to have a good answer for what Ilya said, for like what Ilya is talking about. Like when she's all like, well, it works, and she's all, but it's still wrong. It's all, yeah, and people die when they're killed. We know.
Oh man, I've
not only that correct doesn't mean you're right.
Not only that, but Ilya's like, I have no other choice. Like when humans attack the faunus, it's up to us to attack back. Like there's no other choice or whatever. Yeah. Looks like there's always another choice. Do what I do. Attack the people who attack back.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
that doesn't work.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's like the answers are there. The responses. Okay, so when she has her speech later on, it's a little better because she does say, I can't do anything about people hating each other, and that's true. You can't. You can't make people not. Well, yeah, you can't make people stop hating each other. It's not how.
Yeah, unless you're like Naruto, and your superpower is empathy.
yeah, it's like, okay, that's fair. That's fine. But it's like but you can give reasons why what Ilya is doing is wrong, and like why the White Fang's approach to things isn't going to actually work. Hate begets hate. Violence begets violence. Fear is just another version of hatred. Like
and more
Ilya's
hatred
logic
brings pain.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's like,
where's that equivalent character? Where's the equivalent of that character in all of this?
Of Nagato?
Yeah, dude. Oh
yeah,
man. I'm still holding out hope that that's basically actually Salem's endgame, is that she's basically wanting the relics to just like create a weapon or whatever and force everyone to just stay getting along. Pain's the best villain in Naruto, just character wise. He was so good.
Him, yeah. But yeah, so like Blake has there are ways that Blake can convince Ilya that she's wrong, try to convince her that she's wrong, and she doesn't say anything. So a part of me was almost like, watch this, and I was like, do Miles and Carrie actually buy this White Fang might makes right bullshit? Which, by the way, even Machiavelli didn't buy, even though he's like the guy that pretty much coined the phrase. But it's like, did they actually buy this bullshit? Because Blake doesn't seem to have a satisfactory answer and stuff like that. So, and then yeah, Blake, like I think you said it, media, in the comments that like this, or on the Discord, that this should have been the beginning of like Ilya's face turn, not the like end of it and stuff like that. So yeah, this whole face turn thing was just ridiculous and stuff like that. So that's my biggest gripe with this episode, is that I feel like Ilya's
it was, for me, it
wasn't earned. It was like,
it wasn't earned.
I wouldn't say it came out of nowhere, but yeah, it just happened. I didn't feel any real catharsis. It's like, oh wow, glad I had so much time to care about Ilya and stuff like that. It's like, which is maybe another reason why it should have just been Adam. Like maybe if we might have had a little more time to be like, okay, I forgive him, and like, and then instead of having that scene of Sun being all like, you stabbed me, and then pinching her for revenge, just have Yang be all like, you cut off my arm, and then just punch him or something. I don't know. But, which I did think...
That line was so dumb.
Yeah. I did think it was cute, though. Just like, I don't know. Yeah, I felt it was a very Sun thing to do. Like, you stabbed me. Alright, we're even. Like, not the kind of guy to hold a grudge. I mean, he puts up with Blake. We know he's patient. So
yeah, it's Sun's like, I'm gonna be nailing this too, along with Blake and that other blonde girl on Team RWBY. And he's just sitting there, just wringing his hands, just like,
Blake's like, all right, you can come, but you'll have to share me with a couple blondes. And Sun's like, and I'm one of them.
And I'm one of them. All right, so let's. So basically, Blake talk no jutsu's the whole fucking town, and then everyone's like, "I'll fight."
It's worse than Obito. It's worse than Obito's face turn. The thing is, the thing that made Obito's face turn so insufferable is the fact that he refused to go away. He outlived his welcome like for 40 chapters. It was so ridiculous. And yeah, Ilya's not knocking on death's door, so she's probably gonna be around for a very long time, and this is gonna be like a flat line for her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like her entire...
Kind of like it was for Gaara. Like Gaara used to be my favorite Naruto character, but then after Naruto talked no Jutsu and he like becomes Kazekage, he kind of like flatlined and just became the other Naruto. The other Naruto.
I don't know. I really liked his speech though for the
Ninja War or whatever.
Oh yeah, he was perfect for that speech, but that was still like just
like his character and stuff like that.
That was just him telling everyone else what he went through 3 years earlier.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah,
I love that. I love that scene because again, like the whole Gaara, the whole Naruto versus Gaara stuff. That's actually what made me a Naruto fan. So yeah, Gaara's backstory and how all the parallels with him and Naruto, but. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so Ilya's probably hit a plateau now.
Ilya becomes like this just like background ninja badass that kind of helps Blake out every now and then.
Yeah, that's
just like, hey,
in exchange for favors.
Deus Ex Machina needs another Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Does Gaara actually hook up with anyone at the end of Naruto?
It's implied that he has a kid,
He's got an adopted son, though.
Okay,
He's got an adopted son, but... Yeah, to our knowledge, he's not married or anything like that.
Yeah, he's not married or anything.
That kind of
At least not as far as we know.
I know.
Do we ever find out who Metal Lee's mom is?
I'm still saying it's Tintin. Until I'm proven otherwise, I'm saying it's Tintin.
Okay. It just seems like a really arbitrary thing to not say stuff like that, because like they've said it for everyone else except for... Yeah. Anyway...
So let's talk. Okay, so let's get on to the theorizing part, because I know.
Well, I will say this, or I was talking about like how I want to know more about Gira from this. Another thing.
You're cutting out. Yeah, you cut out there.
Oh, sorry. But I did. Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Sorry, but this makes me kind of want. This episode made me want to know a little bit more about Gira and stuff like that, because he has that line where he's all like, she's learning something that I didn't learn until later in life, forgiveness and stuff like that. Like, I kind of want to know I don't know, a part of me kind of wants to know that story.
I feel like it has to do with the foundation of the White Fang and they're born from war and...
Again, this is like my theory that like he was a player during the Faunus Rights Revolution, and then, like something happened and he decided to start trusting humans again and formed a more peaceful, and that's why the White Fang started out so peaceful and stuff like that, because he learned compassion. Which also further makes him kind of the Martin Luther King of this world and stuff like that, because Martin Luther King at one point, was all for the idea of like black supremacy and stuff like that, but then later on changed his tone.
And then Sienna Khan would be the Malcolm X, and would that make Adam the Al Sharpton?
I don't know.
These are really
and just like that, we got demonetized.
Sorry. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they want us to make these comparisons, but anyway.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So
they get an army and things are yay.
So now we've got 4 episodes left. We have 4 episodes.
It's gonna be
what the abstract fuck is gonna happen in these last 4 episodes.
Yeah. We're either going to jump right into the Battle of Haven, and it's gonna be the last 4 episodes. That is the best case scenario.
Yeah,
I'm not holding out hope because I really dread and feel in my bones that we're not even gonna get an actual action scene for the rest of the volume.
That kind of, it's like this with the way this volume's been going, I feel like that concern is warranted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they gave Blake a good ending. Like, this scene should have been in Volume 4. This should have been the finale of Volume 4. Like, screw the rooftop fight, screw that whole, like, subplot and how that was an inciting incident to a big nothing burger. Actually have Blake's character, like, she goes to Menagerie...
to train.
She like reveals herself to Finnick and Corsac, and then like that next night they attack, and you get this exact same scene, and then
have it revealed that Sienna Khan died off screen. Yeah,
Well, you don't even have to do that. Like you could have done. You could do that like in between. You could do that like still in this one, but I don't know, mixing scenes up. But I feel like this would have been better served for the finale of Volume 4. At least for the finale of Blake's arc.
Yeah,
maybe, yeah.
It's then what would Volume 5 have been? I don't know.
We would well, hopefully the characters would have actually done some stuff.
Yeah, like anyway. Train, or maybe like maybe Volume 5 becomes like Blake's Volume 4, where it's like it's mostly like just them traveling and trying to get to Mistral. Like I would have been fine with that. It would have been a good it would have been.
They
like,
said that they were going to spend more time on characters that were again. They told us, they said that they were going to spend some time with characters that the audience felt were neglected last volume, but they haven't.
Yang might have already gotten more screen time than she did last volume. I'm not sure. I don't count screen time. I don't.
She may have, maybe, but
I know RWBY hasn't.
Yeah, RWBY definitely has not. It's like, yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the way they ended the scene, there's no incentive to actually have Blake go to Mistral now. I feel like there's no incentive because of that. Because like, oh, we got 2 weeks before the Living attack, blah, blah, blah. We gotta train and we gotta get shields and weapons and we gotta get a boat captain.
They're just gonna have a big training montage.
Let's get down to
we might not even reach that captain. By the way, that guy was in Mistral at the end of Volume 4. Is he back now?
Yeah. I mean, he probably makes a fair commission off of, shipping goods to menageries, so I mean, that's probably a normal run for him.
Maybe.
Well, we know he's also the same boat captain that took Yang to Mistral.
You know what that means? Is that if the boat captain comes back, I get to see my another cute, short, brown-haired girl. I just realized that.
Also, another question. Saber Rodentia, he's supposed to be a mouse fighter, right? Where is his Yeah, he's like, it's implied that he's a rodent faunus, but he doesn't have ears or a tail. Like, what is
his teeth?
Does he bite people and spread disease or something? I don't know.
Hey, maybe he had a tail and he got cut off.
Like he's the new Tyrion and stuff like that. Oh, how fun would that be? He bites Tyrion, Tyrion stabs him, and they're just like, oh man, we're both dead.
Tyrion just gets bubonic plague.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious.
Ring around the rosies, pocketbook.
Maybe he was like a mouse faunus. He had like a tail, but it like got severed.
It got cut off.
Yeah,
that would suck.
I'm thinking. I was spending way more thought than they probably did.
Oh man, so
he meets Tyrion. Oh jeez, lost that tail, huh? Been there.
Oh wait, how do you get yours back?
All right, so let's. I want media to go first on this, but
predictions.
Let's guess what's actually going to happen in these last 4 volumes. What is the ideal setting that's going to happen in these last 4 volumes?
You mean last 4 episodes?
You know what I mean. I'm sorry. I've had 2 long boys. Okay? I've had 2 long boys tonight. And I'm kind of a lightweight, which is a good thing because it means I don't have to drink a lot. So, you get to go first.
Best case scenarios, like I said, like we jump right into the Battle Haven after this little break, which would mean that this was a good place to have your break. Like a good plotting out of the episodes there, guys. But I'm so worried, and it's gonna be like over a week before. Are they gonna? My question is, are they going to show a preview for it this Tuesday, or are they gonna wait until next Tuesday to show a preview for it?
Yeah, that's the real question.
Yeah, to show a preview for the next episode. I hope it's this Tuesday. That way, I can like temper my expectations before Christmas instead of having to dread it while I'm trying to spend time with my family for the holidays.
Like, hey, auntie. Oh crap! What about RWBY too?
Oh yeah, like
do this.
I just can't enjoy this ham. I'm so worried that the show I talk about on the internet is gonna just
ham it up.
Suck for the next 4 weeks.
Would you bring up the podcast to your parents at the Christmas dinner?
I've I'll probably not at the dinner, but I
and
brought
they're
it
all
up
like,
before.
"Shut the fuck up! We're trying to enjoy our goddamn meal. Keep your internet weeb shit to yourself."
I showed my sister my bad impersonation of her that I do for my wife's voice. She got a good laugh at that. I did that on Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Nice.
Like, I do not sound like that.
See that right there? There you go.
I do not sound like that. Oh, it was fun. Yeah, as far as the other stuff goes, we really need to see Jean Semblance. We really need action in this volume. I'm just so worried that we're not going to get it.
There
so
needs to be a fight scene in every episode until this volume ends.
Yeah,
at a minimum.
Hopefully, this whole last 4 episodes is just the Battle Haven, and it's just like escalating. Like it starts off with like just like Team RWBY Ranger versus the Chaos Syndicate.
Ranger we.
And then Adam and the White Fang show up, and so then it's like we get that like Ren and Nora versus Hazel, and we get like a
Mercury
RWBY,
Yang.
yeah, Mercury Yang.
Emerald
Maybe
Weiss.
have RWBY fight. Maybe have RWBY and Weiss fight Adam and or something. Or RWBY's fighting Cinder. And
Oh god!
like
if we
that.
get this scene where
Weiss fights Emerald.
where Mercury sees that that with Yang's missing arm, and then he just pulls up his pant leg and shows off the robotic legs, and there's just like a moment of like not like camaraderie, but there's just like a slight moment of understanding, and then they go at it between each other.
Yeah.
That would be like, that's like a big fucking point. Like I would like.
Yeah, that's almost something that
imp-
needs to happen.
This whole volume would improve if that actually happened. Like, it's a real small thing. The small things sometimes count.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I want to see Yang rocket punch someone, like, for real.
See, every time someone brings up the fact of Yang and rocket punching, especially with her arm, I keep seeing Yang as the freaking main character from Scryed.
Or you mean Metal Gear?
No, Scryed.
Weiss.
I always think
Weiss.
Android 16.
I'm already a demon, Weiss. My limbs, they just hurt at all. I still feel them. They ache. I'm getting all the lines wrong.
Yeah.
Metal Gear.
I mean, you're probably actually giving better lines than Kojima did.
Metal Gear.
I'm so looking forward to the spectacle that's going to be Death Stranding.
Yeah.
I just want to see
weird. It looks so dumb.
See what happens. I just want to see.
Apparently, like all the animators and stuff on that movie are not happy with Kojima because he's like trying to explain the plot, and they're just like, "This is so dumb." But like he's no longer in Konami's minds. He can't just bullcrap his way through a game now. He's actually with people who have worked on games that have actual story and actual characters now, and they're not afraid to like call him out on his bullcrap. So I'm so glad there's people that exist in the gaming industry that are willing to call Kojima out.
I'm sorry to derail this. So let's.
Sorry.
So media. So okay, here's this is I'm gonna preface this before everything. So this is how I'm probably gonna assume everything is gonna pan out. Just as a real quick one.
And one other thing is there's no students or huntsmen at Haven Academy outside of like Crow and Oscar and their group, because Leo is responsible for all the huntsmen disappearing, because he's getting as many people out and away from Haven as possible, so that Adam.
That's what I was saying a couple weeks ago. Yes.
So that when Adam and the White Fang show up, they're basically arriving to an empty school.
Yeah.
And it's just a completely meaningless victory for them. Except it's not going to be meaningless because all of Blake's friends are going to be there and just make things worse, and then Blake's going to show up with her army, and then that's going to turn into a battle. So Blake basically ruins everything.
A logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was saying earlier. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So this is just the real quick envisioning. So episode 11 will be some more standing and talking, and then the last half of it's gonna be like we're getting into like the final swing of everything, and then episodes the 12 through 14 have to be like very like There has to be fights in it, and shit has to happen in those episodes. I'm like, it would be preferred if all 4 of these episodes would be like the Battle of Haven, but I have a feeling it's episode 11's gonna be the warm up for it. Like, we're gonna get like talking and bullshit for a chunk of it, and then it's gonna be like it's starting. And then for episodes 12 through 14, we're turning the happening meter to where it's happening right fucking now. And then we're going straight to its fucking happening as Ron Paul's just exploding everywhere as it's happening. So that's what I would prefer. Now, I'll get into the details whenever I bring it around on my side. But I'm going to pass the torch. And by torch, I'm holding my vaporizer in my hand. And you have the vaporizer of talking right now.
Sock, I think, is next.
No.
I really have... Did you even say what you wanted to happen in the next 4 episodes?
No, I basically did, like, just this escalating Battle of Haven.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just like we just need like some fights. Like, it's just been too much standing and talking. We need the battle happening right now. And I actually want to see if we get some new Grimm, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we've gotten, like, the Lancers this volume, but, like, come on. Those are just giant wasps.
Here's what I would like to see is, like, Leo's trying to, like, help out at the end, and he's like, we need to kill this Seer Grimm. Because if we kill the Seer Grimm, all the other Grimm become less coordinated in the around Mistral.
Yeah.
So it's easier for us to defend it. That would actually be kind of nice.
Yeah, but the question is, would Lionheart actually, or Leonheart, whatever, would he have the balls to do that kind of thing?
I think
he'll get them at the like in the 11th hour.
Yeah, in the 11th hour, it's better to be what? Never mind. I can't use the mile long versus an inch short reference.
Why not?
Because that means you better to be a mile long than an inch short, because it's better to overpromise than it is to under. It's like the sales thing where it's better to underpromise than overdeliver. It's a similar meaning, but it's kind of in the inverse at the same time. So, like, for example, like whenever you're machining, it's better if a part's oversized because you always take more material off. But if a part's undersized, then you got to weld the part back on and then machine it back down again.
Okay, I get that now. I get it.
I was using the wrong words.
You're thinking about something dirty right now, aren't you, Media?
Actually, no. I'm watching this thing on Facebook. It's it's on the RWBY family page.
RWBY family page.
So I can't share it. But it's basically the All Might versus Nomu fight, but it's like the FCC.
Oh no.
Oh.
I'm gonna see if I could share it to the
FCC won't let me be or let me.
Okay,
be,
yeah, I found the original video, so I'm gonna share it to our Facebook page now.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I don't really
ignore me. I'm doing other things on my other screen.
That's fine. That's fine.
Anyway, but
I do want to mainly see like more Salem, honestly, and I do want to see like a whole Raven's whole like debacle thing she's got going on now. Like, is she really trying to get Crow killed, or what's that whole thing about?
Yeah.
Because I at the top of my head, it's like, nah, she's just playing, she's just playing double agent, as per what she, her stereotype. But at the same time, it's just like, that's kind of a little bit more extreme. Just like, hey, I need you to kill my brother. It's like, wait.
Because it was her idea to kill him, so
yeah. It's like it was her idea, kind of thing. It's like,
the real
especially if she doesn't stop by Crow and say, "Hey, you might want to get prepared. They're coming."
Yeah, that's the real question we have to ask ourselves: is Raven actually going to warn Crow?
Yeah,
is the real question.
Yeah, does she?
I need to see what's going on there.
How badly does she want him dead? Yeah.
And the question is, why does she want him dead? I mean, it's her twin
She
brother.
gives such a flimsy reason.
Well, I mean,
like the whole. Oh, I'm gonna take the relic because it's the only way for people to leave me alone.
It's like, no, that just creates a target for you. You're just creating a target for yourself.
So right now,
that's the problem with last episode, though. Yeah, it's the last episode was so bad. Hello, anyone there?
I kind of like that the relics will eventually seem like they're going to become like nuclear deterrents. Pretty much, it's like the Mad scenario, mutual assured destruction.
Yeah, well,
mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, the thing is like if they weren't locked away and with this whole kind of secret thing, they'd be basically just be like the Bijous from Naruto. Like each one's a deterrent for war.
Kind of, yeah.
And then that begs the question too. Also, is like, what are the chances of the Spring Maiden survival? Because like,
that's why a part of me kind of hopes that like one of the last scenes is somebody grabbing a whole relic of destruction and just destroying all four and just shattering all four of them, or
that would
obliterating Salem and then shattering all four of them, being all like, "No more of those; they're too dangerous."
Are you still the destruction one?
Like the person just
destroying it as well.
The person grabs it and destroys Salem, destroys all the relics, and then they get destroyed in the process. It's just like then they just fade off into nothingness.
Maybe that's like Ozpin's final act or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
because this begs the question too, also, where it's like, so here, like this is thinking way in the future. So like, assuming we get into the Veil. Okay, here I'm gonna flip a coin real quick. So heads is going to be we're going to get the Veil arc next. Tails is going to be we're going to get the
Veil arc,
Vacuo arc, or Atlas arc. So heads, Vacuo, Tails, Atlas.
Heads.
Okay.
I got Tails, so that's Atlas. So we're going to Atlas next. There we go. That's set in stone now.
Weiss is like, but I just escaped from there.
Yeah,
I just left.
Yeah,
I'm kind of more hoping for Vacuo, but anyway.
So here's the thing, though. If the Battle of Beacon happened, so this is just kind of like we're talking like Volume 6 now. So if the Battle of Beacon happens now and then fails, where does the show go on from this point? I'm assuming Haven? It would be hinted on, like, yes, Haven. Fuck, god damn it.
It's okay.
But so if the Battle of
if the battle, just say the battle.
If the battle fails, as I'm at a loss for words because of my blood alcohol content,
check.
Are we going to move into like, oh, we've got to go to this other place because that's where they're planning to go next? Or I mean, that's honestly the real question here, because this volume seems to be like the if they're going to spend another volume where we're at currently, locationally wise, then
are they going to be following another lead?
Yeah, are we going to be following another lead, or they're going to be trying to like amass a force to attack Salem?
Yeah, are they going to be going on like a diplomatic mission, which I would not object to, but like unify people? Yeah.
Well, especially since the attention.
I actually do prefer the idea of them like going on a diplomatic mission to the different kingdoms. Like that, like I hate the idea of splitting up the teams, but I'd be okay if like Team Ranger, like Ilya joining like Ren and John to go and like talk to Vale while they send Ruby and whatever to go back to Atlas to try to like get everything together.
What would that team name even be?
I don't even know.
At this point, I don't care about team names.
Yeah, team names have kind of gone out the window at this point. They've proceeded to lose their importance with every volume.
As soon as you
I'd almost like another like just a two-way split. Like I feel like that would be okay if it's like we have one team that goes to Vacuum
and one team
we're gonna meet in like Vital or something like that, or Vale. Like representatives from each of the kingdoms are gonna meet at like Vital or something like that. In preparation for, to discuss what's going to happen or what we're going to do about Salem. And that becomes like, and that way we get a combination of like the Veil and the Atlas and the Vacuo arcs. But I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? So like, that's honestly like really,
that's why I almost wanted Team Juniper. Like, that's why I kind of wanted Team Juniper or whatever to get a spin-off series. But anyway.
Yes, Sock?
Sorry.
It's like, if I remember correctly from Volume 4, what was the World Remnants order in? Was it like, it was Veil and...
Veil,
Veil,
Mistral,
Mistral.
Atlas, Vacuo.
Okay, so it's
We go
probably,
with that
we're definitely going to get Atlas. If it continues in that pattern, then we are going to get Atlas first before Vacuum.
So my coin flip was right then.
Yeah.
Feels good. Feels good to be right
Okay.
every once in a
I feel like Atlas would be the easier transition just because we've seen a bit of it from Volume 4.
Well, yeah. Ironwood,
That's
Winter.
Yeah.
we have
Where
the,
is she?
Especially if we
Yeah,
get that.
where is Winter,
especially that whole
dang it?
MacGuffin with the.
where's
Winter coming
Winter?
in special
Where's Jock? Yeah. Here's the other thing too. We
Well,
haven't
Shock's
even.
probably still in Atlas. We don't actually like. Yeah, we're told something by the bandits. Who? Why would they even know?
Yeah.
Like here's the other thing too. Also, so like let's assume that that Atlas decides to intervene in the battle for Mistral, and they're like, oh look, a convoy of are coming
I
to
would be
the
fine with that.
town.
And Penny 2.0 jumps in.
Yeah, we're just
I
gonna
would
we're
love
just
it.
gonna do a gun run on this convoy because we just assume that they're White Fang because they're flying just an older flag of the White Fang, so they're obviously White Fang. So they just end up, doing a gun run on them. Like, oops, a whole bunch of people just died in a gun run, and then it becomes like a huge clusterfuck. Oh no,
That's dark.
I mean, like,
We're setting our expectations way too high.
yeah, we're setting
Yeah.
expectations way too high. But like, in my mind, an Atlas intervention seems reasonable. Like, this is something that I would probably, whenever I actually get to this point in my fic, which I need to get back to writing. I need to talk to Dan again. I haven't heard from him in forever. I need to make sure he's still alive.
Yeah, like I haven't seen him in the.
But I mean, that's just kind of something that's in the back of my mind. But I honestly don't expect an Atlas intervention. It would be cool. I don't think it'd be out of place though. An Atlas intervention wouldn't be out of place.
No, especially since we already know Ironwood. Almost said Lionwood. Ironwood.
Lionwood.
We don't need that ship.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that ship name would be Ironheart.
Oh no, he needs to continue pounding.
Which
out
just made me
Glendo
sad
with
because
his-
Ironheart is a terrible character.
He needs to continue pounding out Glendo with his twin-linked hydraulic penises.
We already know that Ironwood does not trust Leo to be capable of defending Haven, let alone brave enough to not join Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was to say, we were speaking about wrenches that could be thrown into this battle of Haven.
It is, like I said several weeks ago.
Like, called it!
Atlas
Called it!
I called it from like the first episode.
Come down.
Atlas is literally not. They're not just throwing in the wrench. They're throwing in the damn like snap-on rolling tool case into the fucking gearworks at this point. Like, how look, we're helping as they just chunk the whole like thing in
Unless Salem planned for that to happen and planned around their plan.
No. Oh,
And
actually,
it's gonna
a thought just occurred to
devolve
me.
into that, I bet.
It's probably a little bit off topic. Well, not really off topic. A thought just occurred to me. Okay, does that make High Power the Ironwood of the podcast? He's got a gun, and like he's gun.
I don't just
he's,
have
he's
hate.
very
I'm not
militaristic,
saying it. I'm already in trouble.
and he is the Discord daddy. So is he actually Iron Daddy?
I'm not saying
What would
anything.
that
He's already
make
pissed
me?
at me.
The only thing I'm interested in that scenario is like, what does that make me?
Hmm.
Would
Yeah,
that
'cause
make me?
I'm
Would that
the
make me the
first
Ozpin?
Nah, you're
no,
too useful.
No, you're too intelligent for that.
I'd rather you be
I don't
like
know.
the Gira. I don't know.
I don't
Nah,
know.
I feel
the
soft
first-
the Gira.
He can't be the Gira because that would actually mean he would actually have to accept Blake as his family, like his progeny.
Yeah, that's not gonna
He's just
happen.
like, I birthed you.
Such a disappointment.
That
I don't know.
feeling-
Do we want to leave this to our handful of viewers that actually
Oh god, yeah.
point?
We'll post the question in the
If
Discord
we were
as well.
if we were characters for RWBY, who would we be?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll leave that for the comments.
Yeah.
So I feel we've been cuckolding Robert with his with what he's gonna. So what is the last 4 episodes of RWBY? What do you expect? Oh.
I'm going to be optimistic here and say that the first half of episode 11 is going to be like a lead up. I think I would almost like it if like Crow and Ozpin call everyone together and like they finally and like we find out that Raven actually did tell Crow or something like that, and they're kind of like, okay, we've been called to Haven. It's almost definitely a trap of some kind, and so we have this thing where someone's like, well, we're not gonna walk. This is like what we've been waiting for to get our hands on these people. This is our chance to get answers, to find them. And it's one of those things where they're all, we need to come up with a plan. And then the second half is them arriving at Haven Academy and Lionheart showing up and Crow kind of being all, I know what's up. Or first of all, like what I would like is if it's just Crow and Ranger that shows up initially, and he's all like, yeah, I know what, and Crow's again, just like, yeah, I know what's up and yada yada. And then the ambush happens, but it turns out they're ready for them because Yang, Wise, and Oscar are there, and they're able to help them out. And that's the second half of episode 11. And from there, like we have our Battle of Haven, and and a couple of wrenches get thrown into different people's plans and stuff like that. Plans are made around their plans. But anyway, so that's what I would hope for. But yeah, as far as like the overall structure, so I don't know.
If anyone
3.5 volume episodes of fighting.
If anyone else has anything else to say it now. But I feel it's time to shut it down.
No. Well, I don't know. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that, because I do feel like it's probably time for the good guys to get another kick in the pants just for how stupid Ozpin has been this last volume. So again, like I said last week, I want RWBY to fuck up and RWBY to fuck it up and get captured, and then and for them to acknowledge that they weren't sufficiently prepared for this. RWBY wasn't prepared for this because of Ozpin, and move on from that.
Yeah, because the main factor, they're still acting like students, and they're
we can't be students. Yeah,
it's like you're acting like huntresses, but you're not thinking like.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we're gonna think for ourselves now. So.
Yeah, then you need to do something instead of just sitting there waiting for orders.
So yeah, and I am curious to see what's gonna go down when Blake shows up and sees Adam. I don't know, maybe it's time to put Adam's character to bed since they pretty much already killed him. But,
they killed any chance of redemption, honestly.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh yeah, you see this character development and kind of empathy. We're gonna go and give it to this character."
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's like this face turn might have actually worked better if it had been Adam, but they didn't. So anyway, yeah, this episode was okay.
It was a good episode, honestly. I enjoyed it.
It was a decent episode.
On second and third viewing, this episode improved quite a bit. But if they cut out the Oscar Ozpin part, it would be pretty good.
Yeah,
Oscar wasn't even really in this episode. It was just his body. Was just Ozpin. And dude would be going off on this,
shoving his arm up the ass of Ozpin to use him as a fucking sock puppet.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, whoa.
It's true.
Leave me out of this.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Didn't realize you took.
I feel my rights. I have rights.
I didn't know where you were going with that for a second. What? We know.
I knew exactly where it was.
It's like we know it's true. We know he's just. We know that Oscar is basically just Ozpin's puppet and stuff
flesh
like that.
Suit.
So, yeah, he's his new skin suit. Yeah, exactly. Hey, dude. High powered. He's not even here. Couldn't get through one episode without getting something wrong. Anyway.
All right, let's shut it down.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yep.
make sure to join the Discord. It's pretty nice. I want people to play Tarkov with. It's not a game you play by yourself.
Yep.
And these last 4 episodes will really be the defining moment if we're gonna have a Volume 2 ending or a Volume 3 ending. So it's really.
I almost feel like this episode was like the Volume 2 ending. Like this episode was the breach, and next we're getting the Battle of Beacon. Fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping.
If that's the case, then good stuff.
But anyway.
If you like this video,
sorry, I thought it would help if I plug first. But by the time this video comes out, I will have finished recording and editing my newest video on my Glory, and it will be entitled Character Interpretations Javert. So, and it'll be on Les Miserables.
Yeah, Les Mis.
I know it's kind of low hanging, like critical fruit and stuff. I know that's kind of low hanging fruit and stuff like that.
One of the most discussed characters in literary history.
Yeah, but I think I'm taking a bit of it. I'm not comparing him to Jean Valjean in this, so I think that's a big part of the. That's a major difference. So anyway.
Well, I wonder how you're gonna do that because it's so intrinsic to the story.
You'll see. Yeah. Just watch.
Anyway, if you like this video and you want to see or at least hear more of me, like, comment, and subscribe. I will have a review for this episode out possibly the same night as this goes up. I put these out whenever the episode goes public, and I get the reviews out as soon as I can. And since I'm on winter break now, I could very well have the episode done even before this video is ready to upload. I could very well upload them both at the same time, depending on how I manage my time. But I am also doing a lot more writing while I'm on winter break. RWBY on Home. I plan on getting at least one more chapter out before I go into my next story, which is going to be a White Knight story. And it's going to be very different than anything I've done. Not
it better
exactly
end with Weiss being pregnant.
It might. I don't know what all I'm doing with that yet. I'm still in the planning phase for that. But as soon as I'm done with the planning phase, I'll get down to writing. Anyone who reads my fanfictions know how prolific I can be and how much I can write. How much I can write in like a day. And do it like every day, and this story will be like a daily thing. It's not gonna be like RWBY on Home, where it's like whenever it's done, it'll be done. No, this will be a chapter a day type thing, which is kind of more what I'm used to. But because of that, the chapters are gonna be much shorter than RWBY on Home. Like that's the reason why RWBY on Home takes so many days to do a single chapter, is because it's like 3 times longer than my normal chapters. But anyway, I'm rambling now. Check out our Facebook, RWBY and Beyond. Link is in the description. Also, sometime this week on my YouTube channel, I plan on doing a stream. I don't know what game I'm going to play. I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to do a stream while I'm on break.
Oh, wait. We forgot to mention something important, too.
Yes, and we have discussed this. So I had the idea, like, back when we first started, or back when I first got access to live streaming. But Sock brought it up today, and he actually brought it up to me yesterday. For our Volume 5 finale podcast, we are doing it live on YouTube Sunday. When will that be? It'll be about, let's see, episode 11 will come out the 30th, 12 on the 6th, 13.
Sorry.
If it comes
13th,
back
and then so it'll be like January 21st. January 21st at about like 9-ish p.m. Central Time.
CST.
Yeah. The more updates will come, but yeah, we just want to announce that we will be doing the Volume 5 finale podcast live that night on YouTube.
So that means that you can actively shitpost in one of our podcasts.
Yes.
And I appreciate
I'll
shitposting.
Yeah, I'll let the chat be open in the
Yeah, no.
I'll figure out how.
Not reaction. We're not doing a live reaction.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no reactions.
No. We're in too many different time zones and have too many different schedules.
If anyone donates a lot of money to the podcast to media, then we'll invite their ass onto the podcast.
No, gonna show me out like that. I mean,
chill your ass out.
That would actually be a thing because they do that like they can have like separate lines or something like that. It's like, hey, reaching out to the people who are listening to this podcast, like Limit Break Radio does or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how Streamlabs work. I'm gonna experiment with Streamlabs, pretty soon, leading up to that. But I do know that until I hit 1,000 subscribers, I don't have access to Super Chat.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to get to 1,000 subscribers first, which I am at almost 500, I think.
You've gone up. You've gone up.
I started skyrocketing.
When you posted your most controversial
my
one
honest
about
look at fight scenes.
Yeah.
And then it started kind of stagnate. Yeah, I'm at 446.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, I guess. But it kind of started to slow down as I think people kind of lost interest with Volume 5. Because I do feel like people have started to lose interest in Volume 5, so I'll see how that goes. So
I'm looking forward to Robert's charts of the viewership of this volume whenever that information.
Oh, that's right. I did that a while ago with last volume.
Yeah. That'll be something to bring to the table for the finale podcast, or at least the Volume 5 prediction or Volume 6 prediction podcast that we eventually do.
Prediction podcast.
You have your
prediction podcast is gonna be wild. We're gonna have
it always games, it was, yeah.
And I don't
drink, but
I want to be hammered like it's no one's fucking business for that podcast.
Yeah, I've got drinks prepared for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of losing interest in RWBY, I'm gonna cut us off here and say join us next week as I start just talking about Dragon Ball Super instead. Good night.
Also,